Hi, and welcome back to Lead, Learn, Thrive. I'm Pia, and you know that I'm really glad that you're here. This podcast is a space for real conversations about work, leadership, learning, and how we can all find ways to thrive. Whether you're listening from your couch, office chair, or the beach, I want this to feel like a chat, one that leaves you with something to think about, or maybe even something to try. So let's dive in. Okay, so I'm really excited about this one. Today, we're diving into something that resonated with so many of you on LinkedIn, something people saw, felt, and instantly recognized. The idea that in far too many organizations, the people with the least power end up carrying the heaviest weight. Now, this isn't a story about resilience. This isn't a story about working harder. It's a story about leadership, or more accurately, the absence of it. So let's talk about why this happens, why it keeps happening, and what real leadership looks like when organizations are under pressure. The pattern of work we don't talk about enough. So the response to my posts were powerful and painfully familiar. People shared that, poor leadership pushes pressure downwards, middle and frontline employees are left firefighting. The people making the decisions never feel the consequences of them, and somehow the least influential voices carry the largest burden. We see this in failing teams, overstretched departments, universities in crisis, construction environments under strain, public services, healthcare. It is everywhere. And the truth is simple. When leaders fail to plan, fail to communicate, or fail to take responsibility, the system pushes the consequences onto people who had no say in the decisions. They're told to be flexible, be resilient, and make it happen. But the cracks weren't created by them. They're just the first to fall into them. So why French and Raven doesn't explain today's reality? Now, the reason I've brought up this model is because one comment referenced French and Raven's 1959 basis of power. It's useful historically, but not reflective of modern organizational complexity. Power today isn't just reward, coercion, legitimacy, expertise, or information. Power today is cultural, it's structural, it's positional, political, and it's rooted in visibility, influence, and support. And who gets access to each? Someone can have enormous expertise, deep institutional memory, or strong informational power, and still be completely powerless if decision-making is locked at the top, or if leadership lacks emotional intelligence and accountability. In modern organizations, competence does not always equal influence. This, I think, is the heart of the problem. Now, the hidden cost? We have redundancies, burnout, and people just walking away. So in the comments, several people did highlight the predictable outcomes. So good people leave, trust collapses, morale erodes slowly, and eventually the organization loses its most capable talent. One person wrote, and you end up resigning. And yes, that is exactly what happens. Not because people lack perseverance or resilience, but because they're expected to hold together a structure that leadership itself keeps breaking. If you've ever been in that position, feeling responsible for outcomes you had no control over, you are not alone. The vast majority of people reading my posts have lived it. This isn't team spirit. This isn't commitment. This is exploitation disguised as dedication. And organizations cannot survive on the goodwill of exhausted people forever. How misaligned promotions create organizational failure is another theme in the comments, which was powerful. When the wrong people are promoted into the right jobs, the whole system pays for it. This is one of the most corrosive dynamics inside any organization. Promote the wrong people, and clarity disappears. Decisions become reactive, blame moves downwards, psychological safety evaporates, and the real talent ends up firefighting. Meanwhile, those who should be leading, who have the competence, the emotional intelligence, the vision, are blocked, sidelined, or burnt out. Misplaced promotions don't just harm individuals, they damage entire cultures. Now that's another thing, fear-based leadership, the fastest way to freeze growth. Another commenter put it brilliantly. When leadership defaults to fear, everything becomes stuck. Fear-based leadership is one of the quickest ways to destroy innovation. Silence honest feedback, hide mistakes instead of fixing them, and push responsibility downward. Fear freezes people. Fear strips autonomy. Fear turns good teams into survival mode teams. And survival mode is not sustainable. So, why give more and you'll get more is a lie. One commenter mentioned the mindset that if you keep giving, you'll eventually get something back. This belief has been sold as a virtue, especially to junior or lower level staff. Work harder, give more, stretch yourself, cover the gaps, be a team player. But the truth? Overgiving is a broken system which doesn't lead to recognition. It leads to burnout. Healthy organizations reward contribution with support, development, and opportunity, not with more pressure and less acknowledgement. So, what does real leadership look like? So, what is good leadership? Well, good leadership isn't found in 1950s frameworks. It's found in everyday behaviors. So there's clarity, giving people the information they need. Responsibility, owning decisions and their impact. Communication, being transparent, early and honest. Support, removing obstacles, not creating them. Fairness, distributing pressure equitably. Courage, admitting mistakes. And I know that is one big issue that lots of leadership and management have, is that admitting a mistake. And humility, listening to the people closest to the work. Real leadership isn't about pushing pressure downwards. Real leadership is about absorbing pressure so your people can do their jobs well. So, it's that time. A question for you. So let me ask you, now just you, have you ever carried responsibility for something you had no control over? And if so, how did it feel? What did it cost you? What did it teach you about leadership? I'd genuinely love to hear your experiences. These conversations matter because they reveal truths that organizations often avoid, but desperately need to understand. Well, here we go again. Thank you for spending this time with me today. If this resonated with you or reminded you of your own story, you're absolutely not alone. And if you're a leader listening to this, I hope it promotes reflection. Your people are not shock absorbers for poor planning or poor communication. They're human beings who thrive when leadership does its job. Feel free to message me with your thoughts, questions, or your own leadership experiences. They may shape a future episode. So until next time, take care, stay curious, and keep learning, keep leading, and keep thriving.